Whether you're feeling stuck in life or in your career, I'm here to tell you that it's not lack of talent or opportunity, but it's the mental blocks that you have that are holding you captive. This video today is going to help walk you through how to overcome those mental blocks so that you can make progress, feel the growth potential in your life, and actually achieve some accomplishments. Hi, my name is Portia Hines, and I am a licensed professional counselor, and I have been working in the field of mental health for over 15 years now. I've worked with individuals and organizations, helping them implement mental health best practices to help them achieve life satisfaction, productivity, and personal achievement. All right, let's jump in and talk about how mental blocks form and how they keep you in a cycle. Mental blocks form because somewhere along the way, we have started to believe that something is true. A mental block could have formed when you were a child or even in your adult experiences. Once we come across a situation and that situation has a certain outcome, we're more likely to think that it's going to happen just that way again. So say for instance, you are on a job and there's a promotion that's available. You submit an application and they review your experience and they say, well, you're just not qualified as the person that we've selected. So that mental block could have started when you accepted the belief that you weren't good enough. This is a lie. You may not have been good enough, or your experience may not have been good enough for that particular promotion, or they could have just been looking for something different, or you could have been being protected from something that wasn't for you, that would not serve you. So how do we combat these mental blocks? Well, it's not easy, but it's simple. We can combat mental blocks by challenging whatever that belief is. Now, I know you're probably thinking, but Portia, how do I know if I have a mental block? Well, let's look back in the past. Let's look at our pattern of behavior. When it's time for you to move from a place of comfort, do you charge forward boldly, or do you say, I don't know, or do you shy away from the challenge? That's one key indicator that there's a mental block or there's a pattern of belief that you have become comfortable with. Now, just like everybody says in the cliche, comfort is a killer. We say comfort is a killer because it reinforces those mental blocks, or it can reinforce a certain pattern of behavior. What I want you to do is look over the past week, and I want you to think about something that may have been challenging or difficult for you. And I want you to look at the actions that you took. Yeah, go ahead, take a second, think about it. Did I proceed or did I retreat? That's that fight or flight syndrome that you hear in every movie that has anything to do with psychology involved in it. Fight or flight. Do I fight my way out of it? Do I move forward? Is there action? Or do I retreat? Do I run away from the situation? Do I avoid what's going on or happening? So if you can identify maybe in the past week a situation where you were uncomfortable or there was something challenging, and instead of you saying, you know what, this is uncomfortable, but I'm going to keep moving forward, then that is a key indicator that there is a mindset block. There's a mental block going on there. So for your exercise, because I believe in action. I want these chats to be very practical for you guys. I want you to, each time you identify that uncomfortable feeling, I want you to make a log of it. You can write it in a notebook, you can put it in a journal, you can use your digital resources. But I want you to make a note of it and the action that you take. After you've kind of gotten used to observing where your mental blocks are, then I want you to pause in the moment. Take the time to make a good decision. You can say to yourself out loud, or you can write it down. I'm going to choose to move forward. I'm going to choose to challenge this mental block. Mental blocks show up in every area of our life, whether it be our finances, whether it be our personal relationships, whether it be our career. It can show up anywhere. And the thing is, guys, what we think mentally, what we believe actually creates the reality that we experience. Literally, your beliefs and your mental blocks create what you experience from day to day. I'm going to tell y'all a story. It was 2020, 2021. So there was a change in administration that had happened. I had had a change in jobs. There was a lot of change going on in my life. I was given a task that was so far out of my comfort zone. Our big boss, the boss tied to all the resources and whatnot, asked me to do a presentation at a conference that I was supposed to be attending. And I've spoken in front of crowds before. I was already doing the public speaking thing, but this was going to be a room full of my colleagues, people who were just as informed on the topics and just as educated as I am and just as capable. So I was like, wait a minute. How am I going to tell them something? How am I going to teach them something that they already know? So what happened there? My brain went to a mental block of I'm not good enough, I'm not qualified enough, they're going to think blah, blah, blah out of me. My self-talk synced with my belief and almost talked me out of doing the presentation. I was sitting at my desk, putting the presentation together, going over my notes, and then I got an email saying, hey, we need your PowerPoint by such and such time today. Today? Y'all could have told me that a while back, right? Like, y'all really could have told me that what the deadline was, that there was a deadline and what that deadline was a long time ago. So I was really feeling anxious, and I was going to fall into the flight response and say, hey guys, I'm just not going to be able to do it this time. But instead, I dug my heels in. I went back to my positive affirmations. Y'all sleep on positive affirmations. But when you use positive self-talk and you rewrite the narrative in your head, you can begin to believe it, and then you can begin to experience something else, something different than what you're currently experiencing. So hey, you know what? I can do this. I'm capable of doing this. I'm sharing my experience. Their experience doesn't have to be exactly the same. God put us here to be different. He gave us each a life fingerprint. So I'm just going to share my fingerprint with these individuals. They don't have to incorporate it, but at least I've done my part. That's the mindset that I took it on. I do my presentation. I finish my presentation. I travel to the conference. I give my presentation in front of probably 200 or so people of my colleagues and their bosses and my boss and my boss's boss. So I was like, okay, I've done something great. I'm celebrating. I'm like, hey, I conquered a fear. I conquered this negative self-talk. I was feeling pretty good about myself. When I came off of that stage that day, that very day, when I came off that stage, there were two business owners that were there as vendors at that conference. Hey, can we talk to you for a second? Sure. Okay, what's up? What's it going to take for us to poach you from your current employer and bring you on to work with us? What? We really love how you delivered that information. We love how you walked everyone through it. We loved how practical it was. These are the things that they're saying to me, and I'm kind of like, me? You talking to me about that little janky presentation that I did sharing my experience just now? Yes, you, Portia, we want you to come on with our company. We're going to create a position for you. So, of course, long story short, we had multiple conversations. I wound up getting exactly what I asked for and then some as far as salary. I wound up having unlimited PTO in that position. I began to travel the country sharing my experience, and it was all because I shook off discomfort and I didn't let a mental block hold me captive. Guys, these are the things I want to walk you all through as we continue on this journey of the unknown, okay? I want you to be able to double or more than double your income. I want you to have flexibility of your time. I want you to be able to have financial stability and freedom, just like I've enjoyed over the past few years. And I want to teach you exactly the things that I did to get there. So make sure you check out the description below to find some of the kind of self-prompted tools that I've already created for you guys to be able to get on this train, get on this journey. We are now in our thriving era. Literally, one day of challenging a mental block, one day, well, it wasn't one day, but having a practice of changing my beliefs, making my beliefs align with possibility, making my beliefs align with potential and abundance. And it turned into something that I could never have imagined. To this day, I still get to work from home and travel the country. I have spoken nationally and internationally with leaders who are in the position to facilitate change for thousands and hundreds of thousands of people. I don't know about you, but I want my life to have an impact. And I bet if you're watching this video, especially if you're still watching right now, that's something that you desire, but you're feeling stuck right now. It's okay to feel stuck, but I need you to know that there is a path to feeling free. And I'm going to be your guide. We're going to go on this journey together, and we are going to make some lifelong, mind-blowing changes. All right, guys, talk to you soon.